Welcome back to Metro Gamer 77's Apprentice, and so today we're going to be looking at some Hasbro reveals at Hasbro PulseCon 2020. This is the second time I'm recording this because I was rambling a bit too much, so let's get into it. So here we have actually seen reviews for this figure, if you just look those up on YouTube. We have War for Cybertron Kingdom Black Arachnia. So from this we can see that Kingdom's definitely going for a Beast Wars aesthetic. So this figure looks okay. Robot mode looks pretty show accurate. Don't really like the aesthetic of the show design, but like if you do, I guess pick this up. Vehicle, I guess. I'm just gonna call this vehicle mode. Vehicle mode is interesting. I don't really know what to think about it. It's a spider. It looks kind of bad. Just looks like someone just like took like a heap of like Play-Doh or something, just like made two balls and some lines, something. I don't personally like it, so let's move on. Cheetor. So here we have Cheetor in all his glory. Okay, so vehicle mode, he looks pretty cool in my opinion. It looks a bit static, but I think that's just because of the way he's pictured. I think if you like have him out like in your hand, you'll look a lot more dynamic. His head looks, some people don't dig the head. I like the head. I don't really see an issue in it. The head of the Cheeto. Then robot mode, everything seems really cool. I like how they incorporated the animal parts into the robot mode, like the legs become the shins, things like that. The actual cat head is like, I think it looks good. Shoulders, I don't know. I don't like how they're just like not really painted very well, and they're also just like has like a giant cube sticking out of his armpit. I just don't really like the way the shoulders are attached, but everything else I think is really cool. Even the head sculpt is pretty cool. And his tail does come off for the transformation. So I think we might get like similar to what they did with the Masterpiece. They might just scale up Cheetor and repaint him as a Tigatron. So we'll have to wait and see, I guess. Then we have Core Class Optimus Prime. Okay, so I don't know why we have this figure. This is about $10, size of like the Target Masters from Siege. So he seems interesting. He seems very similar to that IDW Optimus that we got, like, I don't remember how long ago. It was before Prime War, that's for sure. But it seems a bit different. Like, there's like a bit more, like, I guess, like, it's a bit more involved. He does have the same backpack though, but his fists tuck in, and he has this little gun. His cute little ion cannon. I think that's what it's called. I don't remember. And then we have Voyager class Cyclonus. So we have had rumors for a while this is going to be a Studio Series 1986 line where they make cartoon-looking Studio Series figures of the 1986 movie. And those rumors have been confirmed, because if you can go to YouTube, and these haven't been revealed officially, but if you just look up Transformers Studio Series Hot Rod or Transformers Studio Series Cup, those will come up and you'll see those. And so I personally don't really like their aesthetic. I don't really like Cyclonus' aesthetic either. I think Cyclonus is a awesome design, just don't really like this cartoon aesthetic. I think of all the Studio Series 86 figures we've seen so far, Cyclonus is my favorite. This isn't actually a Studio Series 86 figure, though. This is a Kingdom figure, which confuses me because he's from the movie, and there's a line for the movie. So why don't they put him in the movie line? Maybe it's just to flesh out the Voyagers for Kingdom, though. I don't really know. So here we have, look at the box art. I think it's pretty cool how the robot mode's on the side, beast mode's in the front, except with Rat Trap. Rat Trap is, yes, just angry looking rat. Okay, so here we have Leader Class Beast Wars Megatron. So, if you're a fan of Beast Wars, you might want to pick this up. I'd say it's pretty good. It seems pretty cool, at least. So, the legs, I don't know. I don't really like this aesthetic personally. I think it could be cool. I don't really like how it's pulled off, though, because, like, the whole backpack section is just, like, I know he does have a backpack in the show, but, like, I feel like this one looks a bit too cluttered. And then the tail just has this panel hanging off. And then the feet just, I don't know, they don't work for me. I think the feet, like, I'm fine with the feet themselves. I feel like they should have a bit more transformation to the legs. So, like, these legs are just like T-Rex legs. I feel like they should indicate that these are turning into a robot's legs. At least the lower legs. So here we have Deluxe Class Paleotrex. I forgot what the line was called in Siege. I'm pretty sure it was like Weaponizers or something. It was the Deluxe Class figures that like split up into parts that could be used as weapons for the Siege figures. Those were pretty cool in my opinion. And these, I don't know what to think. So you see Paleotrex, his like vehicle mode, I guess, looks pretty cool to me. I think it works. His robot mode, like some people might like this aesthetic. I personally think it looks really weird and ugly. I don't really like it. I'm not picking this one up for sure. I don't think I'm really picking up any of these guys, to be honest. I'm not really a Beast Wars fan. Okay, here we have Voyager class Optimus Primal. As you saw when we were looking at the box art earlier, you might have seen a bit of a glimpse of him. So I think this figure looks pretty cool. So gorilla mode, everything looks pretty cool. Love the molded fur detail. Bit of a gap in the knees and by his neck, but I don't know. I don't think it's too big of an issue. Robot mode also looks pretty cool. He has kind of stubby legs, but I think that's part of the Beast Wars design. And we have Core Class Rat Trap, also in the same scale as Core Class Optimus. And we also saw him over here. So Core Class Rat Trap, he's pretty cool. Rat Trap was always kind of a small guy in the Beast Wars show. And so making him a small figure too is pretty good. I'd say, like, honestly, if I just had like a spare $10 and I saw him in the store, I feel like he'd be worth picking up. He seems like a pretty cool figure, fun to mess around with. His rat mode looks cool. Robot mode looks cool, and it's also just like decent price point too. So these are all just like screen caps from the show. There's some artwork though, so that might be interesting. There's Galvatron over here, which is interesting. Wheeljack, I don't know what this is. Megatron. So there's just a bunch of Beast Wars things, other things. Warpath, Huffer, Optimus. Optimus Primal with what seems to be some fossilizer armor. So yeah, and then over here is what I think is the Ark actually. Because these legs like the back thrusters, and we're at Mount St. Helens, I'm pretty sure. So I think that's interesting. I'm pretty sure they are releasing an Ark toy, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think it transforms though, so that's confusing. Now if we go to the end, there's two more figures in the Kingdom reveals. Okay. We have another Core Class Fossilizer. So this is interesting because I don't know if he parts forms, but from what it seems, I don't think he does. Because for most of the parts forming, they like do parts forming on pegs, but like there's no pegs here. Legs seem to be ball joint, knees are a hinge, arms and shoulder are ball joint, chest seems to be hinge. So this guy looks decent. I don't know. I don't know. I like the skeleton modes though. I think they're pulling those off really well, which is surprising really. I don't know why. I just find it interesting. Pulling off these like dead, I guess, dinosaurs really well in vehicle mode, I guess, in my opinion. But robot mode, I like this guy better than the Paleotrex, but still not for me. I guess I'm like, I wouldn't mind having one, but like I wouldn't really. I'd spend my money on something else instead. Then we have Deluxe Class Warpath. So this figure is pretty cool. I find it interesting how like he used to be a mini bot and now he's a like full scale deluxe, which I think makes sense because he's a like tank and he's like the size of Bumblebee, which wouldn't make sense. Still doesn't make sense, but still. I don't really like the chest. I like Warpath's chest aesthetic. I don't like how they executed it here. First of all, I think in vehicle mode, his cannon barrel is way too small. Should be like till here, in my opinion. Oh, I actually went to the wrong picture. Okay, should be till like here. And I don't like how oblong the tank barrel is. I think it should be more like, it's like more of a set octagon. It's like with like perfect sides. Because I feel like the main issue is like, in robot mode, that really shows how like weird he looks. I think if it was his chest was pushed in a bit more, and his cannon needs, in my opinion, needs to be pushed out a bit more. It just looks like a little nub. It's like you think like someone punched him in the gut, and then he just has like a little bump there. Okay, so that's all for the Kingdom reveals. If I were to pick up any, I think I would pick up. Let's think. Okay, I'd say I'd pick up Optimus Primal. Cheetor and Rat Trap, I'd say. I think these guys look the best. Especially, I really like the aesthetic of Optimus Primal. I like his little swords. Or big swords, actually. Okay, so like, moving on to the next thing. Okay, here we have the Odyssey 2-pack. So these are of the Autobot clones. I don't really know anything about them, but I'm pretty sure these guys are pretty hard to get because I don't know when this guy was released, but I know this guy was in this like $100 box set called Chaos and Velocitron, which was part of Titan's Return. So yeah, these guys look pretty decent, I guess. I don't know. I don't really know all the prices for these guys. These are on pre-order on Hasbro Pulse, but I don't really remember all their prices. But I assume these guys are $20, so yeah. I wouldn't pick them up, but if you missed out on them earlier and you really want them, I guess you can do that. Okay, so here's the part that I'm most excited for. Transformers Prime recently had its 10th anniversary. And so for the 10th anniversary, they're re-releasing some figures that used to be Japan exclusives. So first they're releasing, this retails for $40, which I do remember these guys' prices. And so these are a 2-pack of Breakdown and Viacon. So Breakdown was never released in America, and this is the ARMS Micron version. And so for those of you who don't know, instead of the normal Transformers Prime, in Japan they had Transformers Prime with these little segments where their weapons would come to life at the end, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. And so for the toy line, instead of having the normal weapons, they remolded everything to have a bunch of extra little peg hole ports, and they added transforming model kits. These are model kits. They're really simple, but you'll need a pair of nippers to cut them out of the runner and assemble them. But that's just one thing to note. So yeah, so these guys were Japan exclusives. Breakdown, kind of like, some people might really like this character. I think he's pretty cool. So nobody ever got to get their hands on these unless they paid a lot of money to get this imported from Japan. So we look a bit closer, we can just take a look. So one thing unfortunate is that these guys use stickers. There's no actual paint decals. Paint decals, that's a bit contradictory. Paint details. So that's that. That was just how it was released in Japan, which was surprising for Mr. Takara flexing on every US buyer with their paint, how much they paint their figures. So he came with this little rhino, and then his little rhino turned into a little hammer, and then his little hammer smashed little heads. So yeah, it's vehicle mode, more stickers. Looks pretty cool though. Looks accurate to the show. Then the Viacon. So you might be wondering, I thought we got a Viacon in the R.E.D. Transformers Prime line, and we did, except for this is different because this is a jet Viacon. We got the car mode Viacon, but never one that turned into a jet. So now we have this, and he also comes with this little iguana who turns into his little gun. So that's pretty cool. $40, definitely picking this up. This is another figure that I might pick up, probably not though. Hades Megatron. This is a figure from Takara. I don't really understand why they made this. It looks pretty sick though. Like, I like the paint and everything. Well, I don't think it's paint, it's probably just stickers. These are probably stickers. These chrome bits are probably stickers, but yeah. So they released this in Japan. It's pretty cool in my opinion, but like, I wouldn't really pick this up. There's other things like the APC Toys figure or just the original R.I.D. Voyager. But it's pretty cool. I'm pretty sure, I don't know exactly, but I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be kind of like a Galvatron stand-in, because they never made a specific mold for Galvatron. So that's that, I guess. Anyways, so last figures, R.E.D. line. These guys don't transform, but they look pretty cool. So here we have R.E.D. Cheetor. And so we'll look at more pictures of Cheetor, but I'd just like to mention he's holding some sort of crystal. Might be important to Beast Wars lore, I don't know. Or it might just be Energon, I wouldn't know. Then we have Transformers Prime RC, which is pretty cool, keeping with the 10th anniversary theme. RC and Cheetor first. Oh yeah, let's look at RC first. So RC I find pretty cool because we've gotten like 2 other deluxe class scale RC figures, and none of these 3 figures scale very well because they're all a bit too big. But still, these figures are pretty good. I think this is the best robot mode wise, just because like it's only robot mode, but it doesn't have a vehicle mode. But RC's toys, because she's like such like a slender design, there's like not really like any motorcycle bits on her, except for like the wheels, and that's it. So there's always been a lot of kibble in any RC figures, so I guess this is like a good way to stand in for this. So if we look at Cheetor a bit more, so you see what I was talking about with the shoulders on the Kingdom one? This is what I mean. I think it looks a lot better on this figure. The cat head, like, I like how the way it's like a little gap, so it looks like it actually would transform in the universe. But yeah. Also, one note of warning, I've heard, I haven't ever held one of these guys, but from what I've heard, these seem like they might be a little bit cheap. Like with RC, if we look at her pictures, you can see a few seam lines in the legs and things like that. But yeah, Cheetor comes with this little cannon, blaster, and some blast effects, which are pretty cool. RC comes with her little blades that she has on her forearms, and she also comes with 2 cannons that she shoots with, because that's what you do. And those, I'm pretty sure, just replace her hands, or go over her hands. I think they just replace them. And so you can see a bit more of the leg detailing, which I think looks pretty cool. And she also comes with what I think is an Energon cube. So yeah, and then we have R.E.D. Robot Enhanced Design. Alright, so that's pretty much it. One other thing to note is that so Transformers Hall of Fame this year, the winner was Transformers Prime Knockout, interesting enough, which I think I'll stand by that. I never actually voted, but if that was one of the choices, I would definitely vote for Knockout. So it's pretty cool. And so I think these are just rumors, but they might be accurate, that we might be getting a Transformers Prime R.E.D. Knockout, which was another figure who didn't have he had a not so great toy. His toy was like okay, but it didn't really look too accurate. But it sufficed. But I think an R.E.D. Knockout would look awesome, because his design is awesome. So I think that's pretty much, oh gosh, excuse me. I think that's pretty much it for R.E.D. And it's pretty much it for Hasbro PulseCon 2020. So this is something new they have to do because of quarantine and everything. I think it's pretty fun. I wasn't actually at any of the streams, but I never go to any of these Comic-Cons, so I think I didn't really mind just seeing the images. So that's pretty much it. Which one of these would you guys pick up? Because I definitely, for sure, I'd pick up some of these figures. I think these figures look pretty cool. Probably not going to pick up these, and definitely going to pick up the 2-pack. And R.E.D. maybe pick up the RC. So that's all for today. Tell me what you thought of these reveals in the comments below. This has been Metro Gamer 77's Apprentice, signing off.